Well, the mist was lifting from Rosebery topping, and the moors were cold and green. And the driver swore there'd be no stopping as he made for the A19. And in the borough, lads and lasses were sleeping safe and still, when Gaffer Hussein hit the road with 1,000,000 mouths to fill.
So, good morning. Here we are outside the Fleece Hotel not in Shrewsbury. I'm still thinking Shrewsbury, in Richmond. I'm forgetting where I am because I'm so... Well, I don't know what I am. Ernie has decided to purchase some shorts and so is exposing the lower leg to the world for the first time since he was in school. The naked rambler has obviously had an effect on him. So
one item at a time.
One item at a time. And how far are you going today?
23 miles.
23 miles. And how many minutes and seconds will that take you, do you think?
As fast as we can possibly can to keep your legs warm.
As fast as you can to keep your legs warm. Well, I will wave you off and wish you well and see you later on. And don't cause an international incident on the way. Meanwhile, I'm spending a slower sort of day. I've left now just a few minutes after Ernie and Lorraine, and I'm standing on the square. No, it's not the square. I was told yesterday by a friend who lives in Richmond, by the marketplace in Richmond. Apparently it's the largest cobbled marketplace in England. I hope I've got that right, because she'll tell me off if I haven't. But no, I believe that is it. And over there we can see the tower. And that's the centre of the marketplace. Now, Wainwright said this stretch that we're doing today is the lowest part of his coast-to-coast project. And he then commented that he wasn't just talking about gradient. But I live in this area and I quite like it. And come off it, Wainwright. Well, the world isn't all about mountains. There's more to life than that. So let's see how we get on. This is why I need to do the coast to coast again, this time going from east to west. The thing I pointed out yesterday and said, oh yes, that's the castle, wasn't the castle. It was the town hall. Now I'm walking in the opposite direction. I can see that that's the castle over there. It looks far more like a castle, doesn't it? Sometimes I wonder about myself. So I've been walking along the path down from Richmond towards Catterick, and look what I've found. Well, this is a walking woman's dream, isn't it? So what are you lads up to? You look as though you're set in for the next 6 months.
No, we're just setting up for a curry event. We've got curry going out tonight, at 1 o'clock.
A curry?
The guys are all going to sit down here and we're going to feed them from this tent.
Oh, you're going to have curry? When you said curry, I thought that was some military term. Yeah. So you're all coming up here for a curry?
Yeah, for a feed.
Why don't you go to, town?
Do you know what? I don't even know there's some event on. I don't know what it is. Like the guys are out walking or something and they're all going to sit down here for a feed.
And you're going to feed them?
Yeah.
And how... So when you say all the guys, how many guys is that?
100?
You're going to have 100
bods.
Like you, up here.
Not quite like me.
Not quite like you, no. So not, I'd say that was a lovely auburn colour, strawberry blonde. I wouldn't say you were ginger.
Yes, the orange.
No. And they're all going to be eating curry.
We are.
Right, and then where are you all sleeping?
Back in camp, we won't be sleeping here.
Yeah, this
will be collapsed.
That's probably a good, but though sleeping out here in the open air might be a better idea, I'd suggest, after all of you eating curry. But I will get on my way, and thank you for sort of talking to me. Can you tell me which regiment you're in or anything? And we'll...
Lancers.
the Royal Lancers. So there you are, people back in Stockton Rambling Club. Give a wave to the Royal Lancers. Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking down towards Catterick and the Cleveland Hills beyond that. And along with the birdsong, I can hear a noise I haven't heard for a good few days. I can hear traffic. I haven't heard that since we crossed the M6. And that noise tells me I'm now getting towards the A1M. I'm now coming up to the village of Bolton upon Swale, which is where my walking will end today. I have to say I found it a very pleasant walk from Richmond to here. I suppose I have to accept that there are parts of it that have had my heart racing more than they might have Alfred Wainwright, but everyone's coast to coast is different. Everyone has their highlights, and you just have to come and walk it and find out what yours is. I'm standing outside the Church of St Mary's in Bolton upon Swale. This church plays a very important part in my personal coast to coast journey. Not just the journey I've had for the last week or so, but a journey that started, about 2-3 years ago when I was recceing a walk sometime between Christmas and New Year. I was out doing my recce and I passed the church and saw this wonderful sign, and I'm so pleased that after COVID and everything else, it's there again today. I looked at this sign and I thought, wow, that looks good. I'd better go inside and find out more. This is a beautiful parish church serving the people of this area for hundreds and hundreds of years. And sure enough, at the back, what have they put out? But all sorts of goodies for walkers. Tea and coffee and water and soft drinks. And I won't take you in, but I can tell you that towards the back there are indeed toilets. And if you're a walker, that's heaven indeed. I stopped here to have a bit of a warm and to eat my sandwiches. And I was joined by a young man, somewhere in his 30s perhaps. And he was walking the coast to coast over Christmas and New Year. He said he'd done it before and he wanted to do it at a time when it was quiet. And I thought, wow, that's a brave thing to do. It's brave weather-wise, and it's brave personally as well, to say to the world, no, I don't want the parties and the crowds and everything. I want to spend the time doing this. But having got this far myself, now it seems totally clear why he did that. Over this walk, we've had not just the buzz of the physical exercise, but we've had the wonderful effect of being outdoors for hours and hours and hours. Lorraine and Ernie both work in environments where they're having no natural daylight at all day. And they say that the impact of being outdoors so much has had a wonderful effect on their general sense of well-being. So, having done my recce, I then led this sea walk, and we did indeed stop here. We asked the church and they said, yes, yes, there might be a huge pile of you. We don't mind. Come in, make yourself welcome. And given the time of year, it was a very welcome break indeed. And I'm here today and I can't help remembering one lovely lady who was on that walk with me, a lady called Jeanette, who was with the club for many years and sadly died earlier this year. I remember her because, as always, she and her friend Jean spent lots of time while we were here going around, looking at what was here, taking photographs and spotting things I'd never noticed, even though it was my second visit. And then afterwards, you know, me being me and being a fast walker and being the leader, I was trying to chivvy people along. And Jeanette and Jean and their other friend Eamon were sitting on a bench and they were laughing like drain pipes about something. And they were saying, what's the rush? What's the rush? You know, this is a sea walk. It's not an A walk. You know, chill out, enjoy yourself. You know, we're here to have fun, enjoy the day. There really is no rush. And they were right. There wasn't any rush. In order to travel by bus to Ingleby-Arnick, I've had to catch a bus first to Northallerton on a bit of a grey, wet day. But it has some advantages. I've been able to get some of these essentials for the whole lot of us, really. And there might be some other advantages to coming to Northallerton as well. The other advantage of being in Northallerton is that I can call into the very famous, very wonderful Betty's Tea Room. I'm whispering as though I was in church, but then in Yorkshire, I think Betty's has the status of a cathedral. It's all very refined and very beautiful. If Nadia raves about the scones here, then you just know they're going to be perfect. And I have a very, very shiny teapot. We've reached double figures. It's day 10 and it's a damp grey morning on our coast-to-coast adventure, and I mustn't complain after moaning about the heat in the Lake District, and the weather forecast says it's going to be mainly dry today, so we'll be fine. We've reached Ingleby-Arnick, which is very much our own patch, our own area of walking at Stockton Ramblers, and today we're going to walk up into the Cleveland Hills, so very much home territory. Because it's home territory, there's also the chance of meeting up with some friends, which will be nice. And so now we're really fit and ready to go for today. I'm hoping that Ernie and Lorraine will have slowed down a bit from yesterday. They were walking at well over 3 miles an hour. In fact, I think they were jogging, like that person who's just gone past now. See those? That's what Lorraine and Ernie were like, I'm sure. But today they're going to know that they've got me with them And so they're going to walk at a nice, gentle pace. They've got about 10 minutes to breakfast and they're here already. And Lorraine is wearing shorts and no sleeves again. Do they look like people? Oh God, oh gosh. Ernie's got his shorts on as well. They look as though they're going to walk at a leisurely pace, don't they? I'm starting to get worried. We're setting off and we've been joined by 3 friends from Stockton Ramblers. There's Tony and there's, oh, who's waving now, and Peter and Roger. This is getting to be quite a sort of club event, isn't it? It's not just 3 people anymore. I don't want to make it sound as though I spend my time looking at men's legs, but I've been following Ernie and Roger and Tony. And you've got to admit, the calves of long distance walkers just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I wonder if I look like that from the back. Whoop. And having finished the first bit of climbing of the day, we can now look out over this wide, wide plain that Ernie and Lorraine walked through yesterday.
The last time I've seen you, we were on that Whitby one, wasn't it? We were on bus coming back and going that way. I can't remember after seeing you after that.
I haven't seen you since 3 Peaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
COVID's had a big impact on us. We haven't seen each other for long periods of time.
Yeah. But when did we do it?
But it's remarkable the way that we start walking again, and it's though we've never been away from each other.
I've ripped the bag too far down, so...
Whoa. What's a minute there?
Oh, Mary?
Oh, right.
Ready? That's the lead. That again. Obviously, got where you know.
You don't have to stop mid-floor.
Never been here in the winter, you're saying?
The first time I came over here was with a chap called Peter Morris, and we started off in his mother. It was bitterly cold, and as we came up the path and we got to the aerials, it was nearly 2 foot deep in snow, and up against the wall you couldn't see the wall. The drifts, the snow drifts had come over, and it was just unbelievable. It wasn't a wind whatsoever, but bitter cold, it really was. And he never told us to be prepared for snow. So we had a pair of gloves on and a jacket on. We didn't have proper thermal gloves and proper thermal jackets on. We were nithered, is to say the least.
I'm coming back this way. I am a foreigner in these lands.
Yes.
What does the term nithered mean?
Freezing cold.
Freezing cold, right.
Yeah,
so
nithered.
visitors to this area, if someone tells you you'll be nithered,
Yeah,
that's what it
cold.
means.
I used to work with a chap called Osborne Bristol in 1980, and he was from French Guiana in South America. And I got into the office one time and said, I'm absolutely nithered. And he got his Oxford Dictionary out. And when he couldn't find the word nithered, he told me under no circumstances to say foreign words again. I can only speak English to improve his English. Nithered. That's absolutely 100% true, that.
Yes, that was Peter saying home territory, because we've climbed up onto a ridge and we're looking out over a different plain, and over there we can see, through the mist, we can see Rosebery Topping, sometimes known as the Middlesbrough Matterhorn or the Yorkshire Matterhorn. It's an absolute landmark in this area. You can see it from practically everywhere. And if you want to get youngsters into climbing and walking, then start taking them up there when they're about 5, and they'll get hooked and they'll keep doing it until they're well into their 90s. And we've reached the trig point on Carlton Moor, which is it's a highlight and a highlight and a highlight. Done it. Yes, and I'm being told, have I phoned Mike, because Mike's going to come and join us later as well. Yeah. This is a day of the big Stockton Ramblers meetup, all looking at Rosebery Topping together, and the sun's come out. We've arrived at Lordstones and we've been joined by Mike again, this is getting to become quite a club outing, Mike. I'm really pleased to be here because I passed here so often in lockdown and it was always closed. So I'm glad to find out what it's like when it's open. This is a moment of great joy and rejoicing because over there, beyond Rosebery Topping, I can see the sea. I can see the sea. The sea off the east coast. The last time I saw the sea was off the west coast when we were waving goodbye to St. Bees. So day 10, all these days later, we finally see the sea. And I'm looking out across the ridge that we're walking along, all the way to Wainstones, which is going to be our last climb of today. And all the way over there, after going up and down, up and down, up and down, we can see Wainstones, which is the closest to scrambling you'll get on the Cleveland Way. So we had all that scrambling in the lakes. Is it going to be as good? Of course it is, because this is our patch and this is our scrambling. So that's the start of the climb up to the Wainstones, and what it has in common with the Lake District is that there's a false summit, and that isn't the Wainstones. We get up to there and then we've got to climb again. So we've got to the top of the bottom of the Wainstones, and I'm not very surprised to see that Peter is already on top of them. He's got a habit of doing things like that. He's a bit of a whippet too. So here comes Cleveland Way scrambling.
We're on the top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation we can find is the love that we've found ever since you've been around. You've just put this on the top of the world. I love you. I hope you
Well, you've all heard how 5,000 dwarfs were fed by Christ with the fish and loaves, but on the banks of the Ebro in 38, a miracle happened on my plate. We'd had no scran for 2 whole days, 57 lads all hot and hazed, when come the commissar with the grub, what grief! A loaf of bread and a tin of beef. Well, all us lads were filled with strife, till up comes Cooney with his tiny knife, and before the land could wolf the sun, Every man had a corned beef bun. Now Jesus may have got more done, but he had 5 loaves, not just one. And Jesus' men weren't clemmed like we. They're not fought fascists in a hot country. So if he can share with all us men, we can share the earth and start again. Sharpen your knives, Bob Cooney said. Bring out your beef and bring out your bread. We can share the earth, we can start again. Amen, 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 amen.
And here I am at Egton railway station. It's a different way of doing the coast to coast, isn't it? I'm doing. But never mind. I'm still enjoying it. And it's good preparation for when I do it next time. Day 12, the last day of our coast to coast adventure, and the sun is shining and my knee's behaving itself. And so here it is, and it seems such a long time from when we started back in St. Bees. We planned so much and it hasn't all worked out, but that hasn't mattered. We've laughed so much and we've learnt so much. I wouldn't change any of it. I'm looking forward to today, and I'm looking forward to doing it all over again. Today we're being joined by Tony again, and here he is walking up the road, and I'd better get out of the way of this car. And I'll move back again. He's walking up the road with 2 people we've seen previously who are also finishing today. Tony says I talk a lot.
Already. I don't know.
I think he talks too.
Yeah.
I just see the steam of a train coming from or to, we're not altogether sure yet, Gromont Station, which is one of the stops on the North York Moors Heritage Railway line. So we've been told that sadly we have missed the train, but never mind, because we live in this area, we can see it again. The rest of you will have to make a special trip, but it's well worth it. My husband's a bit disappointed today. He's not disappointed because I'm coming home after 2 weeks. It's because he was going to be waiting here today for me to take me for a chunk of the walk because of my knee, but my knee's better. Well, it's better enough for me to walk. So that means he can't come and spend a day sitting on a railway station watching the steam trains. And I'm sure many people will share his pain and disappointment. Train, but we do have a station guard, is that what you are?
Station foreman.
A station foreman, right. And you're...
I also run the ticket office today.
And you're running the ticket office. So what's it been like, sort of being here throughout COVID and now opening up again? And
It's been okay, from my point of view.
well,
We've got people that have come back, which, you know, we wondered whether people would, but the numbers haven't been as good as previous years for obvious reasons. But, you know, this year up to now, they've been pretty good.
And we have heard tales of, is it Harrison Ford here?
Yes. Yep.
Harrison Ford.
The latest Indiana Jones film. Filmed over a week at the beginning of a weekend at the beginning of June.
So were you asked to be extras?
No.
No.
Well, I wasn't.
You weren't.
I'm not aware of anybody that was. And then at the end of April, I think it was, they were doing Mission Impossible 7
Oh gosh.
with Tom Cruise just before we opened up on the 1st of May.
So you had Tom Cruise here as well?
Yeah.
See, we're saying to people, you really should come to this area. You'll never know who you'll meet.
No.
And a friend was just saying he's hoping to bring the grandkids here for a Santa special. Are you doing that this year?
Yep, we are. And I understand we're doing them from Pickering, and we did them last year. And I understand the same format as at Pickering will be here this year. But at this moment in time, I'm afraid I can't tell you anything else because I don't know anything else.
But there's a possibility that if the kids want to see Santa, if the parents and the grandparents want to see Santa,
Yep.
this is a place they could come.
Yeah, beginning of December.
So thank you so much for talking to
That's
us.
okay.
And I'm sure we'll be on that train Monday. I think I'm coming next Thursday. You've got a special day, haven't you?
We have
Next
a steam gala next weekend.
yeah. My husband's already got us tickets.
Right.
So thank you very much.
That's okay.
Thank you.
You're
Bye-bye.
All right.
So we're getting to the top of Gromont Bank, which is the highest climb we've got today. We've got a bit further to go. And it's a beautiful sunny day, but it is a bit hazy. So we can see, but it probably won't show on the film, that we can see the sea again. And over there we can make out, partly because we know it, you'll have to come to see for yourselves, Whitby Abbey standing up on the high ground. Up on the high ground, looking down over the sea. The Abbey of St Hild. We're now walking down into Littlebeck. And I think even Wainwright said that this was the prettiest of places. If you want to find chocolate box English villages, this is the part of the world to do it. I've seen Falling Foss when it's been an absolute torrent of white water. It's been such a dry summer that it's only half the size it sometimes is today. But it's still impressive and it's still beautiful.
Two, three, off.
Have you got us in it?
No, I'm looking at the sky.
You're looking at the sky?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Right.
So
You're on my right, Lorraine's in the middle, and this fat fella here is on the left.
that's lovely because Tony's being our cameraman today. Thank you, Tony. And we've walked now 12th day and we're thinking, what's been our really great bit of kit? Because you've got to think about the kit when you come, otherwise you could end up not finishing because you haven't got the right kit. And Ernie, as we've heard, this is his first real go of using a bladder.
I purchased this bladder especially for the sea to sea, as just before we came on the walk from St Bees to Robin Hood's Bay, I had a bad back due to the weight I was carrying in water that I thought I'd need. So I was inspired to purchase this, and I found the weights in the right position for the day-to-day walking, and it doesn't leak.
It doesn't leak?
Unlike your own bladder.
Like your own bladder?
Yes.
Oh, right. That's great. And that one's made by Osprey, and you said you liked that because you can open the end?
The top just opens up, side up, and opens up like that. Easy for cleaning.
Just pour it out and show us.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. He's not going to do that. Yeah, because you've got to keep your bladder clean, otherwise.
Yeah, it's easy.
So, if you're doing the coast to coast, get an Osprey bladder, especially in wet weather, in hot weather. You need to keep hydrated. And this is the Osprey thing, isn't it? You've had your Osprey bag, Lorraine, and you like
This is
that.
my second Osprey bag. The other one doesn't have the top pouch, but I thought with us doing a little bit more walking and needing to take a bit more each day. So I purchased this one, which is really comfortable, and the airflow at the back, that is so bouncy and comfortable on your back. The straps are in a perfect position and they're really comfortable. I haven't had any problems with these at all. And the waist sits comfortably on right, well, it should be down on the hips, which is really, really comfortable. So I would definitely recommend an Osprey bag as well.
And for me, what's really been good for me, because I'm not as tough as you, no, I think it's been good for me, it'll be good for others. I've got this, it wraps up really, really small, but it's a very warm duvet jacket by Alfred. So I use quite a lot of Alfred stuff. I like Alfred. And I find, you know, even on a day like today, we can get onto the tops, we sit down for a cup of tea, and I get cold fast. I'm sweltering going up, and then I stop and I get cold. And that's not nice, it's not comfortable, and it can start to get dangerous. So having something like this that wraps up so small, and it's like having, you know, immediate central heating. That's what I get. Get yourself a duvet jacket. Mine's an Alfred. I've got lots of Alfred stuff. I like Alfred. But if you're doing the coast to coast, think about getting something like this. It'll be worth it. So that's our recommendations for people doing the coast to coast. Now we've got to finish it, haven't we? So, cameraman Tony, you can stop.
Just look at the size of them feet. If I could zoom in, I would zoom in.
No ad-libbing allowed.
No ad-libbing allowed. Stop it, Tony.
This is what you get when you do the coast to coast. Feet like that.
So after the green hills and then the beautiful little valley with falling floss, we're now back up on the moors, and it's beautiful up here, and over there we can see the sea, which is where we're heading. There's the sea! Tony's pointing to the sea. Tony's waving to the sea. See, here we come.
Action.
And we're on that moor I was saying was so beautiful, and I think we've reached what is Wainwright's last laugh for the coast to coast walker, because we've come through some areas where it would be very easy to just get a boot full of water before you get to the sea at Robin Hood's Bay. They put some board here for us to walk on, but this is the first helping hand we've had. We've been leaping over boggy bits and all sorts, so let's hope we can get to the end of this and keep the insides of our boots reasonably dry and wet free. Thank you, Wainwright. So we've been joined now by Jill, who's, let's see, you're not actually the oldest member of the club, you're not even the oldest walker in the club, but I know you're not supposed to ask a lady's age, but you're a reasonable seniority.
Well, yes.
So what is it?
I am at the 83 this year.
83 this year, right?
Yes. So I'm just 82 and 3/4 and a bit more than that.
Yeah, 83 and 3/4, a bit more. And I've been talking about inspirational, strong women of the Northeast, and Jill's definitely one of those. Because you've been walking for years and years and years. But through lockdown, how far did you walk in lockdown?
Well, in 1 year, from the 23rd of March 2020 to the 23rd of March 2021, I did 3,565 miles.
So that's how you spent lockdown. You went out.
That's how it saved me. That
it saved you. It saved you. Yeah,
it saved me. So I was out walking each day on my own most of the time, because we couldn't have other people with us, and then either with one person when we could.
Yeah.
And didn't know my way around very well, no sense of direction, and I ended up finding different paths and managed to get more sense of direction.
Yeah.
So that just shows that some good's come out of it.
Some's good come out of it. Yeah. So because you've walked the Pennine Way, you've walked the West Highland Way, you've walked.
I haven't done the West Highland Way.
Oh no, you haven't done the West Highland Way.
I've done the Coast to Coast, Swaledale Way, the Pennine Way, and I think that's about Cleveland Way.
Cleveland Way, yeah.
And then I'm doing the Dales Way next year.
Right, Dales Way next year. And now you're going to walk with us.
Now I'm going to walk with you to
Our
end
last,
this, yes.
yeah, for our last 3 miles, you're going to walk
Last
with us.
3 miles.
And it's great having you with us.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks,
very
Stuart.
much.
Thanks.
It's lovely to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Question from the audience.
Here we go. Let's pan round, see the others.
Having you.
It's,
Are you going to buy us all a drink at the end, Jill?
well, I will do.
No,
I will do.
no.
It's,
Thank you.
yeah, it's,
And as with St. Bees, as we come to the end of the path, Wainwright has got us walking along the coast path, looking out at a glorious blue sea. And for those who don't come here, I can tell you that this is quite common to have weather like this in the northeast. We have it like it so often. We just don't tell people who live elsewhere because we like it the way it is. Not many people, lots of space. But if you're watching this, I think we'll let you come here too to enjoy it. And Tony has just pointed out to us the lookout for Robin Hood's Bay. That's it. That'll be the end of our coast to coast adventure. Just a wee while to go now. Just a few more steps of our 190 something miles. The best adventure ever. And there, I'm not sure if it'll pick up, across the sun and the haze, we've got our first view of Robin Hood's Bay.
Right, here we are. The last gate of Robin Hood's Bay. Ernie doesn't know how to undo the gate. Oh, he's got the knack of it now. Well, come on, Ernie, you've had plenty of experience. You filled in your competencies. So, from Stockton Ramblers, I will say on their behalf, congratulations to the three of you. Magnificent walk. Ernie, move in. Oh, do that again. Oh, how sweet. Load of rubbish, but how sweet. So, congratulations on behalf of the Stockton Rambling. It's been a pleasure to walk the last part with you. It really has.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot to press the button. Let's do it all again. Hello.
Which route shall we go? That way or that way?
Either.
You can do the rest.
you're doing absolutely fine.
Yes, round up the sticks.
We had a drink in there when we were doing
I think it's a bit steeper than Stays.
Oh,
Not as steep as Roman Bank though.
hey.
The walking boots, I thought, out the way.
It's years since I've been here.
All right, okay, couple chance.
Yeah, I think so.
Is this it? The end of it for you?
This is the end of it. Started in St. Bees 2 weeks
All right,
ago.
well done, well done.
Yeah, film from the top.
Take over, Ernie.
You can do.
Come on, right, so let's get Ernie in. Let's get Ernie in. Come on, Lorraine. Off you go. You've always walked in front of me anyway. And they're going down into the sea. And Jill, I'm going to be... Oh, the tide is in. We're not going to have to go far. Jill, can I hand over to you? Can I hand you the camera?
Yes.
Hang on, Jill.
Right.
Right, so you stand with me there, right? And I'm now looking at Lorraine and Way, you know, there are registers to sign and there are registers to sign, but nothing is quite like signing the book when you've done the coast to coast, is it? You know, the smiles on their faces are just wonderful. Yep. Ernie signing his. It's Ernie's smile too. You're not going to see me sign it, but if you ever look at the book, you'll recognise mine because my writing is so bad. Oh. Oh gosh, this is where my knees.
And now we have Llinos Mary Jehu signing the Coast to Coast book, looked on by Ernie Costello, recorded by Lorraine Matthews. Well done, everybody.
If you've got different clothes on, then you might have been in the winter or something. And you've got different clothes on. Well, I'm sure the kids stop, you know.
My terrible writing.
Any last comments?
I'm just so happy, so happy. I'm on the top of the world.
Just finished it.
Top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation we can find is the love that we've found ever since we've been around. You just put us on the top of the world.
That's great. That's great. Well done. Well
Thanks,
done.
Jill.
Thank you.